OCLionsFan.com weekly match preview for the 30th versus Columbus Crew. That's this coming up Saturday. Just a little bit about the Crew. They're coming off of 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. They have Kai Kamara, the MLS's leading scorer, Gonzalo Higuain, and they have their leading assister is Ethan Finley. We played the Crew before. We're pretty familiar with them. Well, some of our team is familiar with them. Rafael Ramos isn't really, but other than that, they scored early on us. Higuain had a beautiful goal versus us when we were still full squatted, but shortly after that, Ramos got the red, and from there out, most of you know the story. So. We got Ron here today. He's back 2 weeks in a row. We appreciate it, Ron, from City Soccer Talk. And we got Ches. He's new this week, and he is with the Purple Mane podcast, and that is Mane if you're going to try and find him on Twitter. So, guys, we'll just jump right in here. Lots to talk about, actually, with a bunch of injuries and no Breck Shea. Ron, we'll just start. Who do you think is going to start for us this week? You can touch any position or all positions quickly, whatever you choose.
I don't think it will change dramatically. I think I wrote that I hope Rivas gets a chance just because I want to see him play a full 90 minutes just to see what we have with him. His performances so far have been underwhelming, but I would like to see more of him just because we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do with him at some point. So I think hopefully we'll see him on the left wing there, and I assume Higuita will still play and Akugo will still be on the bench, but other than that, I think it'll be a similar lineup to what we're used to.
All right, and Ches, what about your thoughts?
Yeah, from what Adrian Heath talked about during the course of the week, I can't see many changes. Colin is a big question mark still right now. I think he's leaning towards not playing him right now, as far as I understand. But Carlos Rivas, yeah, exactly. Adrian Heath was talking about how he's got a cannon of a left foot, and he's super, super, super quick. So all signs point to he's just going to slot right in that left midfield spot as well. So yeah, I mean, I don't think he at all wants to mess with the 4-2-3-1. I don't think he wants to mess with the Serra and Higuita partnership, even though it wasn't stellar in the last game against the Quakes. So yeah, I mean, Carlos Rivas, designated player, he should be able to just slot right in and make an account of himself. Especially, yeah, the DP tag has got to put some kind of a pressure on him. This has got to be an opportunity he has to seize. So yeah, I'm with you, Ron. I would love to see him get up and down the wing for the entire 90 minutes, or at least 60, 70 minutes or something like that before we bring in a sub. Because I don't know what his match fitness is like. I'm assuming it's decent enough, but he hasn't. When was the last time he played a full 90? Was that game against Houston or something like that?
He got hurt in the second game, so it was really the first game.
Exactly, yeah. So I don't know if he'll be sharp enough for the full 90, but yeah, it'd be nice to see him out there.
All right, well, I agree and disagree with you guys. And just to touch on your point, Ches, real quick, in the coach's radio show, I think that's they do on Tuesdays. Coach said that he was gonna lean towards sitting Colin because he was happy with the partnership that Hines and St. Ledger have formed. And as far as I think, obviously we're gonna keep the same formation. That's we've only changed it I think twice this year, and once was because we were really shorthanded on that away game in Montreal. But anyways, I think we'll see Rivas on the left, and I personally think that Akugo is going to come back in, and I think Surin is going to have to spend some time on the bench for that jump tackle that he had, and I would love it. Coach Heath, if you see this, please start Ribeiro on the right, please. Please start him there, please. We all know Avila's not going to do anything, but anyways, that's just I think. Other than that, that's just my plea to the coach there. It's probably going to go wasted, but anyway. So Ron, who I know you're familiar with the MLS. Who's your player to watch for Columbus, other than Kai Kamara?
Well, I mean, naturally you'd have to look at either Higuain or Merrim. I don't particularly like this matchup with Columbus at all. They've played a 4-2-3-1 in every game, and I don't know that we know how to play when we don't have possession. We are horrible at counterattacking. So this is probably the worst matchup in the league that I've seen so far. Some teams we haven't played yet, but I don't particularly like this matchup at all.
And Chez, any points about the Columbus that you want to talk about?
The only positive going in this match is Finley is their right attacking midfielder is listed as injured. I don't know if he's recovering. I don't know how serious the injury is. He's a consistent part of their lineup. I think he's started virtually every game he's been available. And he's not as flair oriented as Higuain. He's obviously not a goal scorer like Kai Kamara is, and he's not as technically gifted as Meram. But he does work hard and he provides solidity. If you remember against us, he was the guy that was right on the end of Ramos's assist across the penalty area that slotted into Higuain, which was brilliant, by the way. But my danger man, I'm gonna kind of go with Higuain's the obvious guy, but Meram the last few weeks has been outstanding, and he can shoot with both feet. I mean, he hit it from like 10 yards away when against us and buried in the top corner. But he also had that shot earlier in the game against with his left foot that Donald Ricketts got across to grab. He's taken on almost this trequartista number 10 sharing with Higuain role, but he also drifts out to the left-hand side as well. He's a really scary prospect as far as keeping tabs on him. Aguita on that side of the field is going to have to be very wary of where he's at all times. So, yeah, I see us struggling without Breck Shea to get a hold, because Breck Shea's he's been drifting centrally a lot to help out the development of play, and I'm worried about this becoming one of these situations where Seren Higuita or Akugo Nagita are overloaded, and then Kaká's dropping to midfield again and again and again and again to win possession, and we totally lose the flow of attack and totally lose the kind of cohesiveness we've been having, where Kaká's been able to sit further forward. So, yeah, and obviously you got to say something about Kai Kamara. I mean, he's just the consummate goal scorer.
He's ridiculous.
Right now. Yeah, and we talked about this in our crew preview a few weeks ago. He's not a natural forward. He's a natural winger. That's what he played for most of his career. But he's just developed in this predator in the penalty area. He can score with his head. He's obviously got two great feet. So yeah, and without Aurelian Collin in there, yeah, it's a little worrisome, definitely.
Ches, I'm just going to touch on your point about Finley. I know he has a broken toe,
yeah,
and they said that it was going to basically, the report that I read said that he was going to just be a game time call.
Okay.
So, I would vary to say that he's going to play. I mean, maybe 80%, maybe at 90% is unknown to me or anything that I could find online. I know that they played a midweek friendly versus Valencia, and he didn't play at all in the friendly, and so I don't know what exactly it is, but all I could find was broken toe, game time decision. So obviously he's leading their team in assists, and he's just been feeding Kamara. So if Finley's my player to watch if he's healthy, we already know Kamara, we already know Higuain. They kind of gave it to us last time. And anyways, it's just I find this game a little ironic that we're coming off a game where we get a red card versus coming onto a team where we got a red card. So that just is what it is. Anyways, moving forward, I don't want to talk about the red cards because they've just been abused over and over, talked about. So we'll move on. And Ron, in the coach's show, Coach said that Hall was communicating very well with the back line, and he said that St. Ledger has been very vocal in practice, and with the attacking threats that the Crew do have, I think Hall will be a little more tested this week than he has in the last 2 weeks. Ches, what do you think about Hall actually being tested more? Like you said, Collins is going to be out, but do you think that Hall will, hold his own versus the Crew's attack?
Yeah, I think 100% he's going to be tested more. There's shooters from outside the box in that team. There's penalty area predators. He's going to have to clear a lot of cross. He's going to have to take command of the penalty area, especially because I see us just kind of being pinned back for 10, 15-minute periods of time in this game where balls are coming in from both flanks. So he's going to be tested. I have a faith in him. He's been doing a ton of interviews on local TV and local radio where he's got this bubbliness about him. He's very, very happy to be back. He made that save last week against the Quakes with his right hand that was outstanding, especially
That
versus.
we would have lost if it would have been Ricketts. That
Big,
save.
I want to give Donovan a little more credit, but yeah, you're right, absolutely. Tally Hall, is an upgrade. Um, I just, I hope what Coach is saying is absolutely right about this communication between the two center backs, St. Ledger especially, and Tally Hall, because this is going to be the name of the game. Higuain, he's crafty, he's Argentine, he drifts in and out, he finds himself all over the pitch, and if there's someone not constantly yelling from that central area in the penalty area on our side, look out, behind you, man up or something like that. We're going to see a lot of people looking at each other as the ball ends up in the back of our net. So yeah, I have full confidence in Tally Hall's shot-stopping ability, especially after the Quakes game. And I'm hoping that what Coach is saying is absolutely true, that there's a lot of communication going on because they're going to need it.
And Ron, you want to address anything about Hall?
I just like that he comes off his line a lot quicker. He seems a lot more confident in everything he does. Like I said last week, Ricketts tends to just stay on his line, and he'll make the normal save that you require. But Tally Hall's going to have to be a match winner this week, probably. He'll probably have to come up with at least a save or two that's one of those, great goal-scoring chances. So, what? That's why we have him, and I'm glad he's back because we're going to need him this week for sure.
And I was a proponent of Ricketts. I liked Ricketts. My fiance is Jamaican, so I'm kind of obligated to say that. But anyway, I'm glad Hall's in. He's been playing good. So we'll just talk about one more thing, and then we'll go to Ron's specialty in the match predictions because he called it exactly last week on all fronts. 1-1 draw, 100th goal from Wando. So, but anyways, just a real last point. I know that Ches, you guys said this in your podcast, and when you said it, it struck to me, and I wanted to absolutely talk about it today. And it is the fact that our wings are so struggling. Like, that we get very little goals from the wing. We, get some solid crosses, but those come from, the backs. And I just wanted to, hash that point out on the match preview because we're going to need to attack this week to win, and I don't know if we have the firepower to do it. Ron, thoughts about the lack of the production this season from the wings, and maybe how who could step up or how someone could step up better other than the right back and the left back?
Well, I don't even like calling them wingers because they don't play anywhere near the wing. I mean, Breck Shea was virtually a center mid last week. And I think that's, like Ches spoke about, I understand why he's doing that, but I think it's a very poor use of his, natural talent and speed and athleticism and all that stuff. So it's hard to say, our wing play's been bad when they don't play on the wing. Avila drifts centrally, so I don't know if it's – I kind of have a feeling it's a philosophy of the coaching staff. Maybe they want a stronger spine. Maybe they are always – want to be protected against the counterattack because they usually control possession. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't seem to matter who we play in there or play on the wings. They seem to drift in centrally. Now, if Carlos Rivas does the same thing, which he has got to be outside and on the wing, then it's an obvious coaching philosophy that I don't particularly agree with. But I'd like to see Ribeiro back. I don't know where he fits best on the field yet, but he was obviously a spark plug when we had him, and I'm not a big fan of Avila, so that's where I'm at.
I just want to make one comment off of Ron's comments, and then we'll move the question on to you, Ches. About Ribeiro, I called for him earlier. I would love to see him on the right. I thought he did decent there for Montreal, and Ron, I think we talked about that on Twitter about how he had a goal and an assist in Montreal off the right wing, and just the lack of production from Avila, and and then Ches, you mentioned his big frame. I didn't even know he was that big until I listened to your podcast. But I think just if we could get him in on the right, even if it's not for 90, even if it's for 60, or even if it's for 30, it still to me would be better than the 30 minutes that we would probably get from whoever is playing there. I'm assuming Avila, but anyways, back to the original question. Wing play, poor wing play. Who can step up and how? Ches.
Yeah. So you're absolutely right, and it's something we've been talking about. So the two best crossers on the team are Breck Shea and Rafael Ramos. The third best crosser on the team is Luke Bowden. Basically, what we have available this week, it's not going to get any better because Rafa Ramos is going to get up and down as much as he can. What I suggest in the pod, and this is something we can't do for this week, is since our two best crossers are essentially wing backs. I mean, Rafa Ramos is playing a right back position, but he gets up and down the pitch so much. He's kind of this modern. Everyone talks about the modern fullback as offensive first and defensive second. And I think that a three center back and a two wing back kind of formation would utilize these guys the best. And exactly what you're talking about already, Ron, is just Brekcia is so underutilized, and his skills and talents are so ridiculously looked over when he's pulling in all the time. And you're right, I can't imagine it being anything except Adrian Heath saying, "Come in, Breck, come and help develop the play. Play some 1-2s with Kaká or something like that, get play going." Yeah, Avila can cross the ball. He can. I mean, he's at least from set pieces. In the Pancho Perta, however you say their name, game, he was the one who provided the assist for Roches off the corner kick, and he does some set piece delivery, which suggests he could deliver some kind of a decent ball. But he's obviously either from coach's instruction or more naturally his own position. He's not going to be doing that. As far as the Ribeiro solution, I love to see him anywhere on the field because, again, I really, really think in the few games he had for us, he showed an understanding with Kaká and just a general awareness of where to be. The problem with him playing on the right is our crossing's not going to get better with him. He's left-footed, so he could get to the end line and then turn around and put in a nice whip ball, but it'd be complicated in immediately improving our wing play and our delivery in the box. So yeah, as far as immediate solutions, I have none. Keep Rafa Ramos. Honest to goodness, I love watching Rafa Ramos get up and down the flank and cross the ball and just bust a gut. And so if Avila has to stay in there and offer defensive protection, so be it. And in this game, I would love to see. Rivas is a worry for me. I know he's going to be very, very hungry to prove himself offensively, but I'd hate to see Luke Bowden be stuck back in our own half the entire game, not being able to deliver crosses. So I would just, if I were Adrian Heath in this game, I'd say Carlos and Eric, just please know your role and make sure that these guys can get forward and put balls in the penalty area, especially if Ribeiro comes in for Laren because he's so tall. I think he could offer a lot towards the end of a game, 20, 30 minutes in there. So yeah, no. There you go. No solutions. Sorry.
All right. And no problem on no solutions. I agree with your sentiments about hopefully Bowden doesn't just get left for dead. But anyway, we're just real quick. If you guys have anything that you wanted to address specifically that I didn't talk about, now's your time. And could you also please conclude with your prediction? And since Ron, it's your specialty, I'm going to let Ches go first.
All right, so in the pod this week, I went illogical, and I think it could be a valiant 1-0. We steal. I know we're at home, but it's kind of like an away smash and grab job where Tally Hall makes 3 excellent stops, and Sean St. Ledger and Seb Hines really prove themselves as a partnership, and maybe something off a set piece again, maybe something off a corner kick, maybe something off of a free kick delivery. Yeah, so 1-0. I'll say that.
1-0. All right, Ron?
Well, a couple of things. I think Columbus has not won a road game this year. So
you stole my fact.
That does bode well. So I think we can scrape out a positive result this week. Much like Ches, I'm not exactly sure how that's going to happen. But Columbus is a very different team on the road. I don't know if they're as mentally strong as they definitely seem at home. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 game again, like I said last week. And, maybe Laren gets it, but I know you guys don't like Laren over there at the Purple Maid. But yeah, I'm going to say 1-1.
All right. Well, I like Laren, and I would love to see him start a new scoring streak that might be a little bit longer than the last one. And just to repeat the fact that I was going to say, Columbus hasn't won on the road, and they've only scored 2 goals on the road. So I don't know why that is. They, just could be they just like playing in their home crowd. I have no clue. But because they haven't won it on the road and because they haven't scored on the road, I am going to pick 2-0 Orlando City. And I just to harp on this point, I think Laren is going to score, Ches.
We appreciate.
So,
we don't love Kyle, but we do appreciate what he's doing for our team at this point in time. We just don't see a tremendously promising future if he's our only option. But no, Kyle, score as many goals as you want to. We will not be offended or anything.
All right, well, that does it for this week's episode. You can find Ron at City Soccer Talk on Twitter. That's his handle. And you can find Ches and their podcast at The Purple Mane, and that is MANE again. And, check out their podcasts. Read Ron and his writers' articles. They do a great job there at City Soccer Talk. And you can find me at the tag there, Orlando OC Lions fan _TV. And if you're at the game Saturday, come to Gate C. We're doing fan cam every week at home. We might try to get to the supporters in Lot 11, see how Gate C's working out right now. Follow us, read our articles, listen to his podcast. We're all out here. We're all working hard trying to give you guys quality content. If there's any way that I can improve for fan cam or this weekly preview show, please let me know. Get me on Twitter, or you can email me, oclionsfan@gmail.com. Thank you guys. Thanks for watching the video. One last thanks again, Ron. I appreciate your efforts and time. Ches, same sentiments to you, my friend. I look forward to working with you guys some more as the season goes. I think we're on to something good here. So, woo-hoo! All right, go Lions.
See you guys.